Happy weekend. Happy July, everybody. It's Laser here with another video on NIO. This is my weekend analysis. Hope you guys are all doing really well. I'm going to review what I thought was going to happen last week and what actually happened this week. And I'll talk to you about what I think is going to happen next week and we'll just go from there actually here. So there's a few things that obviously happened today. I talked about the potential of us coming up to retest that golden pocket, which we did, and it broke back above and it failed that retest. And it looks like it literally bounced off the 0.786 retrace. I called initially. I always had a feeling this is totally NIO-esque. But anyways, a couple other things I talked about was us getting a bullish divergence. So far, it looks okay. Like if on Monday, if things wanted to decide to just like run, it's got the setup for like that bullish setup actually. Like it could just run from here, dude. It's coming from a lower low. If it just does this, it's bullish, right? Now, I made this prediction a while ago and I got a lot of flack for it. And I should have trusted my original instincts, but I was always thinking this zone was going to come down to and get tested, like the 0.786. And there we are. We're at 4.14, 4.13. We're close, like super duper close. We're going to go ahead and zoom in on the 2 hours. All right. I talked about this also last week, and I was worried about this. If you watched my last week's video, check it out. But I discussed the option of like getting super duper excited about like this uptrend starting right over here. And I tweeted about it. I'm like, oh yeah, like things are going to get like, it's getting really excited. And I can't tell you how similar this is to that, where, you know, an uptrend's forming and then boom, knife down, right? An uptrend forming. Actually, it's actually surprisingly still holding well off these two, but I'm pretty sure it broke this. Yeah. So where are we heading? I mean, like, that's the question everybody wants to know. I think things are we're at this stage of the rally. Like we're at the end stage here. Like we're trying to get to this point. Like we're in this stage of like the end of like basically a pullback. A rally is about to begin. Clean break. Like the opportunity now, the risk to reward on NIO is like a chef's kiss. It's beautiful. 40% upside. Okay. With the potential of its, if it were to sweep the low, that's still 11%. You would need, I think, a lot of help from the Hang Seng drawing it lower. I haven't looked at this yet. You can kind of see where almost all the bounces come like 2 o'clock into a T. Is that going to be your next buy? Like just shy of $4? I don't think so, but it's a possibility. Like it's not even funny like how relevant that is actually right here. So it's looking really, really good. And if you were to go like this, you got that lower low finally, but it's well off from like tracking on this downtrend. Like you could tell it's slowed down from this original trend here. I keep doing this every time, and I keep moving the goalpost, but like it's difficult to get it nailed down. But I think you're going to get something like that. That's what I think. Maybe sweep the low right here. Like, where are we here? Like the next low, it'll tag right below. Let's see, right there, 403, which provided like a bounce previously. So it might kind of get there. I don't know. I can't tell you if the downside's like totally done yet. Because we're probably right in this stage right here. This is where we are, and I think there might be one more like boop drive down before things get crazy. That's what I think. Again, those are my opinions. Things are looking good. Like, this is a velocity break. This is the pullback. We're getting the 200-day moving average slowly starting to curl up. Like, things are looking good. And now the gap's filled, which is beautiful, right? Gap's filled. Now we can with confidence not worry about having to fill this gap and go for our targets. $8.48, $9.98, $11.88, and $11.47. Those are like your three targets. 1, 2, 3. And there's targets below that, but you gotta at least get to the $10 range. Like, this thing broke out, and it's going to break out. Like, on the log scale, it hasn't, but it's so freaking close. On the regular scale, this thing busted and broke. That's clean. Clean breakout. It's still holding a higher low. It's bouncing potentially off the 0.786 retrace here. Healthy. These are healthy retraces. And again, not a unique pullback. This was not unique to NIO. Baba suffered the same fate. Even worse, I would say. Like, even more drastic. There's Baba. Let's look at KWeb. KWeb, same chart. Baidu, right? That's another one, right? Baidu. Same thing, even worse. Okay. Hang Seng. Let's look at the Hang Seng. It's the same goddamn chart. Okay, guys? So try and like relax a bit and realize like you're just going for the ride. It's hard to beat the indexes. The indexes are the ones that are going to be dragging down the stock. You are going to want to be seeing a continuation. Like, we're getting close to this, by the way. Very close to that. I mean, like, that could be where it's going to. 17.2, maybe 17.5 if it draws out a bit longer. There's other underlying tailwinds that you got to worry about. The Dixie. Dixie is looking, in my opinion, bullish. It just broke the 200-day moving average on the velocity. And there's a couple of targets it hasn't quite hit yet. Did it actually hit this? No, it hasn't hit this. And I'm convinced it wants to come up and test this still. Right? Which is going to put it right over like around 106. I also am convinced it's going to want to break this, which is like super bearish for the entire market. But it's one thing to keep in mind. The USD CNH, the yuan, the Chinese yuan, it made new highs. Like, this is crazy. To compare that to the Hang Seng on a new price scale, the last time we were this high, like, you know, the Hang Seng was sitting at around, what was it? 1,500. Maybe not 1,500, but it was like, it's around the same price. But it's certainly a risk factor. And if you were looking at it like just like this, it kind of just looks like it just broke out, right? And it's totally retraced 50% of that drawback, which would put like, I mean, it looks like it's getting rejected here off the 730, but I would entertain the idea of it potentially going to 0.736. Now, if it does this, which nobody wants to see that, because that just means Dixie's going to go up And that just means this is going to go up. These are all like the USD Japanese yen, another thing that just hit new all-time highs. This is what puts pressure on Hang Seng, and that's what's going to see it pull back more. Now, it's not just Hang Seng. You got the SPY, the Qs. Basically, it just hit all-time highs, and Dow Jones not quite there yet, but these are things that are underlying factors that you always got to factor in. And then crypto too. Crypto's like doing its whole cycle thing. It's the bottom in for crypto. I mean, it's wild, is what I can tell you right now. I don't want to really talk about crypto. That's just for another time. But again, for NIO, what am I expecting again for next week? It could run literally right from Monday. I've always had July on my radar as the month for NIO to kind of get going. And let's see. If you lose 414 or 413, like if it doesn't like give you this bounce right here right away, guys, there's just no point for it to not sweep the lows here at 361. And it might get its very first bullish daily divergence that way, which would make sense. You're sweeping the lows here, right? So it would look like this, guys. It can even come down. It could do something like that, which would be still uber duper bullish, okay? Higher lows. That would be a bullish daily divergence. Nobody wants to see that. But you can build a case that it could do this. You could. I mean, if there's no catalyst, I mean, there hasn't been anything to stop this bleed for not just NIO, not just BABA, not just K-Web, not just Hang Seng. It's like the entire Chinese equity market. And it's tied to the freaking US dollar, you guys. And this is what I've been tweeting about every single day. You guys should be like learning how to look at the US dollars. They actually give a lot of really good, like useful articles that you can kind of read into, and it gives you a better understanding as to like why the market's moving. Why is the Chinese market tied to the US dollar? Everything is tied to the US dollar, which is why you saw this giant rally on the Hang Seng was also the giant rally. It was like, hang on, let me just line this up so it actually illustrates it. Like picture perfect. Like look at this. You can't tell me these are not tied. You know what happened during this massive rally? Let's show you the Dixie. That's not a coincidence, you guys. Hang on, let me see if I can move. How can I move this? Where is it? Why can't I not move this? I think I got to move this one first. Okay. Well, this in blue or in teal or whatever you want to call it, that's the Dixie. Okay. Orange is the Hang Seng, and you could see like it's no coincidence that when this breaks down and you get that massive, mind you, this was obviously coincided with a lot of stimulus from the Chinese economy. Right over here, when the Dixie broke down, there was a massive like lagging effect for Chinese economy. It didn't fully tie to it because again, it's also based off what the yuan is doing. So it's not entirely dictated on what Dixie does. It could pull away, but you're going to want to see some stimulus from the Chinese economy for it to diverge and really get more of a boost. But again, whatever Chinese does to their yuan is going to impact the US dollar as well, right? So everything gets tied to that. I feel like I'm sounding like a broken clock here. And it's also crypto. Crypto's in a very weird spot too. The happening or whatever they call it happened when, like May or something like that. I forget when it was, but like, look, it's for like almost 2 months or not 2 months. It's done nothing, which is crazy because there's so many people who are calling for like 180 on crypto and like 250 on crypto. And can it do that? I mean, that's for another video. I'm not here to talk about whether it's going to do that. But this price action is dictated based off the US dollar. And again, the US dollar is very sensitive to the Fed meetings, right? So when the Fed actually has meetings and they release data like FOMC, or they release JOLTS report, or they release something, it's going to actually impact and give you those big catalysts. Anyways, that sums up my video for NIO, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I think July is going to be a big run, but I mean, you might actually see it kind of pull back all the way down to 361. Thank you so much for watching my video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like on my video and drop a comment in the YouTube section if you have any questions at all. Have a wonderful week, guys, and happy Canada Day and happy Independence Day coming up for this week. Cheers and take care, guys.